Marion Bartoli pinpoints the big difference she noticed between Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka during their US Open match. Marion Bartoli was one of many who rushed to praise Naomi Osaka for her emphatic US Open victory last night. After all, she deserved all the adulation she did and continued to receive, having put Coco Gauff to the sword in front of her home crowd. It was a clinic from the Japanese superstar, who conjured the kind of performance we had not seen since she was regularly winning Grand Slam titles, and crushed her opponent in straight sets. Osaka outlined what excited her most about her win over Gauff, and in all honesty, there was so much to choose from. She was that good. Speaking live on Sky Sports, Bartoli would pinpoint what made the difference for the 27-year-old on the night. Marion Bartoli analyses Naomi Osaka's win over Coco Gauff. She would actually outline the key difference between the two competitors as the reason behind the gulf in quality and scoreline, as she started by stating, "I think the contrast was really as well in how both players were going to their emotions because Naomi was like, and Laura rightly pointed out during the match, and then she said it herself on the on-court interview, enjoying herself, smiling, so clear about what she wanted to do. And in contrast for Coco, just struggling with everything, even her backhand she was struggling. She was finding the net on so many occasions, hitting over 30 unforced errors in a very quick match that really didn't last long. And I mean, we sort of knew since the beginning of this tournament, it was a bit of a struggle mentally to go over the pressure and everything, but really today, it showed up even more. There have been arguments since to argue that Gauff's US Open loss might actually be a good thing. Meanwhile, Naomi Osaka will now face Karolina Muchova for a spot in the semifinals. Naomi Osaka's head-to-head record versus Karolina Muchova. After such a statement win, Osaka is suddenly being talked about as a genuine contender for the US Open title. Especially given that her next opponent, Muchova, seems to be struggling through her draw. To have made it this far is a credit to her, given all the ailments she has suffered with. Even the last match saw her take a medical timeout as she received work on a back issue that has troubled her for some time. This gulf in physicality could be the key that allows Osaka to continue her rampant form, as their head-to-head indicates there will be little between them. They are currently tied with 2 wins apiece, with Osaka the latest to taste success in their short rivalry in Melbourne earlier this year. However, Muchova did dump her out of this very competition around this time last year, which could make for a really intriguing dynamic as one of them seeks to sneak ahead in the head-to-head. Karolina Muchova names what she thinks Naomi Osaka's biggest strengths are ahead of their US Open quarterfinal match. Karolina Muchova will be one of many on the WTA to have been left stunned by the manner of Naomi Osaka's win over Coco Gauff. After all, few could have predicted it would be so dominant, with the 21-year-old brushed aside with few signs of pushback, 6-3, 6-2. The Japanese star was rampant and has catapulted herself into contention for the US Open title in the eyes of many. Muchova, however, will not be fazed. She will have aspirations of silencing the new noise that is swirling around Naomi Osaka, having quietly enjoyed a really impressive tournament thus far. Asked about the imminent clash, the big-hitting Czech was honest in her assessment. Karolina Muchova previews her US Open match versus Naomi Osaka. She first told reporters what she felt the key difference had been for Osaka in the past months, as she has gone from regularly suffering shock losses to being a mainstay in the latter stages of her most recent events. Muchova began, "Yeah, the difference. I think she just now got more matches under her belt, winning matches, and I'd say she's not. Yeah, I'd say just she got that belief again, that she can be the best and trust her strokes more and playing really fast, really good. So yeah, gonna be tough." Then asked to assess what she felt Osaka's biggest weapons were, the 29-year-old continued, "I didn't see her matches here, honestly, so I think just that she's playing fast. She's, yeah, I don't know. I mean, good serve, fast strokes. She's moving well. Yeah, I mean, she's great. It's gonna be, again, I will repeat myself, it's gonna be that battle for sure, but I'm looking forward to it." Elsewhere, Gauff has been told to take the rest of the year off by a former Grand Slam champion. Such was the nature of Osaka's beatdown. Karolina Muchova's road to the US Open quarterfinals. As a former Grand Slam finalist and a 2-time semifinalist at the US Open, Muchova is well versed in deep runs at events of this magnitude. However, she comes up against arguably one of the most experienced players on tour, who has 4 Grand Slam titles under her belt, 2 of which came here in New York. It promises to be an enthralling, thunderous affair with plenty of bruising rallies for fans to enjoy. The only worry is Muchova's fitness, which has held up for the most part throughout her run. She began her campaign with a hard-fought 3-set win over Venus Williams, before gaining narrow wins over Sorana Cîrstea and Linda Noskova too. Marta Kostyuk marked her most recent triumph, meaning she has gone the distance in all 4 matches she has played at the US Open. For comparison, Osaka has dropped just 1 set. Marion Bartoli leaned forward in her commentary seat, fingers curled around a steaming cup of coffee as Arthur Ashe Stadium roared. The air pulsed with energy, the kind that only arrives when 2 of the brightest stars in tennis square off beneath the glowing lights of New York City. Naomi Osaka, calm and poised, stood across the net from Coco Gauff, the American firebrand with speed in her veins and ambition in her eyes. As the rally unfolded, Bartoli tilted her head, observing with the meticulous precision that had once propelled her to a Wimbledon title. She wasn't just watching a match, she was dissecting a duel of styles, 2 different interpretations of the same sport. "Look at that," Bartoli murmured to her co-commentator as Osaka unfurled a forehand down the line with the smooth, unhurried grace of a painter's brushstroke. "There's your difference. Osaka is playing time like it's hers to control, while Gauff is racing against it." It wasn't a jab at Coco, nor blind praise for Naomi. It was Bartoli's way of capturing what everyone felt but few could articulate. Gauff's game was electric and explosive, but Osaka's was symphonic, methodical, a masterclass in controlled aggression. The match had begun with fireworks. Gauff darted around the baseline, her athleticism a blur, stretching to retrieve Osaka's laser-like serves and snapping forehands with a ferocity that sent gasps rippling through the crowd. But for every athletic marvel Coco produced, Osaka responded with surgical precision. She didn't chase the drama, she created inevitability. Bartoli, a student of the game as much as she was a champion, saw this subtle divergence from the opening points. "Coco thrives on chaos," she explained during a changeover, gesturing at the monitor in front of her. "She thrives on turning defense into offense, on running down balls and making her opponents feel her presence." But Naomi, Bartoli paused, smiling.